Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Good
What is this,
morning.
episode 4 now?
This is episode 4, week 2. We just recorded yesterday. It's Thursday here. So if you're wondering, it's Thursday morning, July the 3rd, so that we're talking about stuff that's happening. And so that's when we're recording. And we were just talking about it feels like a Friday for us. So, and
It
there's
does. I'm excited about the holiday. So today, Thursday, does feel like it's the weekend already.
It really does. And we are going to actually just like jump right in because this week has been a lot. I know we've been sending stuff back and forth, and we've got a lot planned to talk about this week. And I still don't think we're covering everything we wanted to
Everything.
just because of time. So I'll go ahead and start off the bat. I've got like a couple of stories from last week that I wanted to follow up on. I know you talked about Diane, who was the former nanny for Kelsey and Curtis.
Yes.
So, we talked about how she's just not letting the Kelsey and Curtis stuff go. She's just constantly talking about it. Well, after our podcast last week, she's gone back from stuff that I posted back in January, February, March of this past year and is commenting, and not just one or two comments. I got like 10 notifications in a row where she was going from video to video making comments on these old videos. And I've heard from other creators, she's going back commenting on their old content as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's like made a video this morning, even like I think V reposted a video that said, "Oh, I should have beat her ass." And
Mm-hmm.
Diane stitched it and said, "I would have if I was 20 years younger." And she's kept on with the New York stuff, and it's
Right.
uh
Just let it go.
let
At this point, you look kind of foolish. Just let it go.
let it go.
Like there's no reason to be posting stuff from January. I mean, what month are we in? July. And
July.
you're going, so it's like she's taken this week and just went and looked up Kelsey videos and like, let me comment on all of them. It's just a little bit strange. I think she should just kind of let it go and maybe let go of the Kelsey thing.
I do too. And that's what we said last week. We actually wondered if she was going to, if she had watched the videos because she
Mm-hmm.
commented on our stuff. So we're like, we wondered if she had watched the videos. She hadn't said anything. And then like her commenting and pulling up the old stuff, I'm
Mm-hmm.
guessing she hasn't heard us say yet that we think that it's time to let it go. Even on Reddit, they were giving her ideas. We're like, let's move on away from this. Here's how you can change your platform, and giving her ideas
Mm-hmm.
of how to make her platform more about her and her nanny stuff.
Right. And I have actually seen that more, and it's, not just us, I have seen other creators message and be like, maybe she should do like a nanny blog. I see Miss Diane a lot posting about, I can't remember which like she goes off of, but it's like a working mom's nanny. Do you remember what it's called? Like she should do more of that type of stuff and tell people, here's how my routine worked for kids. Here's how my routine works for the kids I nanny. More of that content, not necessarily talking about her kids individually, just her experiences as a nanny and what works for her. And I feel like a
Yes.
lot of people have been slowly telling her to do that. And it's like she sees something that maybe set her off and she's like, oh, back to Kelsey.
Yes,
It's a little
that's it.
strange.
I think we're all starting to agree that it's time to move on from Kelsey and Curtis, and we
Right.
want to see that change. So, like we said last week, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought after our talk last week about has she waited too long to
Mm-hmm.
talk about Kelsey and
Anything.
Curtis,
Mm-hmm.
and then her going back and talking and commenting on videos that are months old. That's kind
Mm-hmm.
of, I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's giving a little bit obsession. So I would like to see her just back away, just completely back away and just focus on her career as a nanny. That's what I would like to see personally.
I think so too. All right. And then moving on to our next follow-up from last week is the modern working girl.
I've been waiting for this one.
So as soon as we got done recording last week, literally as soon as we got done recording, I went and I checked my messages, and I had a message from Dace's former coworker, Caitlin. And Caitlin's like, hey, go check out my videos on the modern working girl. And so while we were recording, while we were prepping, all of that last week, a whole lot of stuff went down between Caitlin and Dace. So Dace basically made a, let's go back. So after Dace, the modern working girl, made her first video about security, Caitlin came out and made a video talking about the Mustang Ranch security and supporting Madame Tara. Dace did not like that at all. And so she came out and she made another video, and she basically said that because Caitlin spoke out, she was going to share all the information that she had on Caitlin and talk about Caitlin's drug use. And that if other girls wanted to talk out, she was going to spill everything she had on Madame Tara, which to me sounds a lot like blackmail. I mean, it really sounds that way. So Dace went on to say that Caitlin had a drug problem, and she shared text messages between herself and Caitlin when Caitlin was going through that, the whole 9 yards. Caitlin comes back and she's like, does another video. She does a couple follow-up videos, and she's like, I did have a drug problem. She admitted it. She's like, I had a drug problem. But she's like, the key word is had. I don't have a drug problem anymore. I went to rehab. I credit the management at the ranch for saving my life. She's like, they're the ones that encouraged me to get help. They let me come back after I got that help. Like, she's like, they helped me. And she's like, I'm back at the ranch now. Everything's good. I'm clean. But it wasn't Dace's story to tell. Dace should have...
Heavy on that. It is Caitlin's story is not Dace's to tell.
Exactly. And whether you agree, and whether you agree with Caitlin or Dace, because I've heard people say, well, Caitlin should have just stayed out of it. Caitlin's the one that inserted herself to it. She started attacking Dace first. Whether you agree with what Caitlin posted, what Caitlin didn't post, any of that, whether Caitlin was in the wrong for what she posted, in your opinion, that doesn't matter. The whole point of the matter is somebody's drug use is not your drug use story to tell. You shouldn't tell that story. That's not a story of yours to tell. So, but that's, whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah, and it's really sad because you can have confrontation, you can disagree on things. I mean, a lot of people won't agree to disagree on the internet. We know that. But, you can disagree on points, but you don't need to attack someone that haven't even shared their story yet just to be like one up them. You know what I mean? Like that's just, it's sad and it's unnecessary in my opinion. I think that people can like go back and forth and discuss matters without it going into like what it did with them too, because that's just, it's so sad. And I do feel for Caitlin because maybe she wasn't ready to tell that story. That's, it takes a lot to speak out about things like that. And I mean, I just feel like Dace did her dirty. That shouldn't have been anything that she ever should have spoke on.
No. And then Caitlin went on to say, I don't understand what Dace's point was in even sharing it, because Dace's husband actually just got out of jail for moving Lucy. He was selling Lucy. So he was in jail for that. And then he also just got out of rehab for H. So it's not like they've got this. So,
how dare her even? I mean, you would think she would have some sort of sensitive to the issue since she's seeing someone that's close to her go through that, and she wouldn't just blast someone else, because I'm sure she wouldn't wanted that done to them.
Right. And then there's more.
Oh gosh, more. Oh no.
There's more. So then after all of that, Dace starts pulling out this little recorder. And it turns out the entire time she was at the Mustang Ranch, she secretly recorded her conversations with the madam and possibly with other girls. And she is starting to release some of those conversations. And she says that she was able to record because only one person had to give consent to record, and she knew
I
she
was
was
gonna ask,
recording.
what
So
state are they in, and does it have to be one or two
I
parties?
haven't I haven't checked into that. It's been a crazy week, so I haven't checked into the
Mm.
exact legalities of that. But yes, that's what Dace is saying. So yes, so now she's releasing these recordings, and people are saying, "Hey, this seems a little calculated. You went into the ranch with the thought to record all of these
Yeah.
conversations.
It's
Why
almost
were
like
you
premeditated. Let me try to get something on these people.
exactly?" So I am sure next week there's gonna be more.
Be more.
So that's where we are this week. It's just been, yeah.
I mean, Dace sounds petty, like on a dirty level, like a dirty petty. I don't
Yes.
know. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Well, next week should be interesting then, because I'm sure that if she's already done this much since our last time we talked about it, there'll be even more. It don't sound like she's done, especially
I
if she's got secret recordings.
I don't think she's done either. I think we're gonna see more. All right. So do you have something new for us?
Yes. So, this one, kind of a trigger warning a little bit on this one. So, Gulf Coast Stapletons. Have you seen their stuff pop up? Probably recently, but like in the past, did you ever see anything about them?
Okay, so I did not see anything about them. The only thing I know is I think what you're getting ready to talk about, I've
Mm-hmm.
been seeing pop up on my For You page. I haven't
Okay.
taken the time to go down this rabbit hole, so I am interested to hear what this is myself.
Yeah, so I remember seeing them a while back, I think. I didn't know any of like what had happened recently, but I do remember seeing her page, and they were always on the boat, didn't have any kids, it was like a kind of like it almost seemed like a party time. They were just living their best life as, young adults. Well, um, so April 23rd, 2020. Well, let me back up. Brittany and Josh Stapleton are the ones who run this Gulf Coast Stapletons account. So Brittany is the wife, and then John is the husband. And John was just sentenced. Well, he got 20 years for crimes involving a minor. And so he was sentenced, and he's in prison now. June 24th of this year is when it all kind of came to light. So we're going to back up. In April 23rd of 2020, he caught 10 charges with crimes involving a minor. Now he bailed out of jail and was able to, I guess, kind of keep it out of the court system for 5 years. Well, within that 5 years, he had racked up 30 more charges. So he was looking at 40 charges of crimes against minors rather than the 10 that he was 5 years ago.
Wow.
So he ended up pleading guilty to 20 of the charges, and he's gotten 20 years. So 5 in prison and then 15 on probation. It's just like, how did, it just went on a while. It was that's just a lot. Like, so Brittany, so he's in prison now. Nothing's really said of him. He's just in prison. He's going to do his time. Well, a lot of speculation came on the internet, like his wife had to know. They were together. Like she had to have known. This has been going on for 5 years. They got married in 2023, so he had already got the charge in 2020. So 3 years later, they get married. Well, I'm even wondering, like, what is happening? What's going on? Well, Brittany decided to make a TikTok video yesterday, and she made a video standing 10 toes down for her man. I mean, to the fullest. Her video, I'll just kind of describe it. It was 8 minutes long. She's sitting on her couch, and she stated that she got with him, like, whenever she heard the charges in 2020, she's like, I called him up. I just knew that wasn't the John that I knew. I knew this wasn't him, and I just, So that's how they started getting, like, I guess, hanging out more. And she said that there was a lot of speculation that she didn't know. She literally said, I knew everything. He was transparent. He was fully honest. I knew everything. And I'm just like, I'm literally like this, like, what? I wasn't expecting this video to come out of her. I just thought maybe it'd be like the opposite. But she was like, I've been to court. I know everything. I'm just like, all right. She stated that she goes, another misconception is, we were around families with children. And did they know about his charges? She was like, yes, they knew. I'm just like, oh, okay. She said, we were fully transparent and told anyone that we hung out with, if they had children or our previous friends with children, we told them all. We were upfront and told them about his charges. And she said, and, most of them were okay with it because they had seen John around there, or Josh, I'm sorry, his name's Josh, around their children. So just that alone, before I continue, is, honey, I'm the type of mama, I will smile wearing orange. You're not coming nowhere near my kid. And if that was ever a charge that any of our family got, or no, you're not coming around. We're not even associating with you. I'll blast your ass all over the social media, but you're not coming around my family,
So she's saying, let me get this straight. I'm trying to let this soak in. So she's saying when they would go to hang out with people and she would see they have kids, she'd be like, oh, I see you have kids. My husband's got charges for being inappropriate around kids. You still want to hang out with us? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
That's what she's trying to say.
Yes. I mean, that's exactly her word. And I'm just like, what? So
I don't
the
believe
next
that.
thing, me either.
I don't believe that.
No, absolutely not. Because what mother in their right mind would be like, yeah, honey, come on over and bring your man. I got little kids at home. No one's doing that.
No.
Now, she does have still a pretty big following on TikTok, and people are like, kind of, we feel you, it takes time to process everything. Like, they're kind of making it out to where she hasn't really fully processed what's happening. And it's like, she's been processing it for 5 years.
Yeah. It would take me 2 seconds to process it and be like, that's, yeah.
It's crazy.
If somebody came to me today, this would never happen. So let's just put that out there. But if somebody came to me today and told me that my husband had charges like that, I would have the moving truck here by noon. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. I mean, I'm that type of mom, I just, like I said, I'll just gladly smile and wear orange because that's not happening.
No.
So she goes on to say so she's in her video, she's like, I'm addressing the false statements. And so she was like, you guys are more than welcome to share mugshots, to share public record, to show court records, to share affidavits, to share, all this court stuff. That's fine. But what you're not allowed to do is defame me. I'm just like, okay. So she was really worried about, or she said she'll take legal action against people who speak on this and speak negative about them. And I'm just like, well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you cannot police people's reactions to your actions.
Exactly.
Now, if you and I sat here and were like, well, he did this and he did that and he did this, and she absolutely 100% knew, and we said beyond a shadow of a doubt she knew she was involved, any of that, yes.
That's different.
But to say that but you can't tell us that we can't have a reaction to your actions. That you can't do.
Right. Exactly. I mean, yeah. So, okay, the next thing that she said, and I think you'll find this funny. Not funny, but like, just the whole, like, what are you doing? This is not true. So she was like, the next thing is that people are saying Josh had images and stuff and things of this charge on his work computer. She was like, if you know anything about corporate work or anything of a high profile job and you use a work computer, those things are secure and strict. So that's why he doesn't have any images and things like that on his work computer.
So it was only because he knew he would get caught, is what it sounds
I mean,
like.
that is exactly what went through my mind. I was like, what are you saying? No. So, and I've worked corporate job and I've had a corporate computer, and I'm telling you, I probably could have looked up anything I wanted.
Yeah.
Like
And
they don't.
honestly, the higher up you are, the less,
Exactly.
the less.
Because I'm the one approving this and I'm the one looking at everything, like what's okay and what's not okay. So the higher you're up, the more you get away with, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So for her to say that, I just thought, you're so naive. Like, that's not a thing. She had said, a lot of the other rumors is, I didn't want to have kids because I knew of his charges. And she was like, no, I never wanted to have kids. Like, if you know me, you know I never wanted to have kids. And it's like, okay.
That's the rumor that I did hear. Like, I saw in the comments that people were saying that in her videos, she was so weird about the I don't want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so adamant about it. And, like, she had said that something had happened. Like, I guess there was, like, an oopsie with the birth control or whatever, that she went and took a plan B, like, because she was so worried that something might have happened. But they were like, she took it to another level.
Yeah, so she said in this video, if you've known me, you know I never wanted kids. Which brings me to my next thing with her. So shout out to True Crimes with Megan on TikTok. I've been following her. She has uncovered so much on Brittany lately. So she has screenshots and proof that, do you know, and you actually might know this Facebook page. So it's called Mama Bears Facebook group. It's a mommy blogger, like a mommy Facebook blogging account.
Yeah.
And they're pretty well known, I feel like. So the Mama Bears, Brittany requests to join that. So she was in this Mama Bears group for moms with children. And the screenshot that True Crimes with Megan posted was, you know how whenever before you join a group, you have to like take not a test, but like fill out like, if you, or do you have children? Well, she marked yes. It said, do you have children, or are you pregnant, or do you have children? And she marked yes. And the screenshot proof on her TikTok that shows she put yes. Well, she also addressed this with the moderators and sent them a message saying, I never intended to do any harm. Josh's charges aren't, you're innocent until proven guilty on this. So she already knew people were talking about it. But my thing is, why the hell are you joining a mommy Facebook page when you don't even have kids and you don't want kids? And your husband has charges with a minor right now against him, 10, which ended up being 40 at the end of this.
Was she trying to get in there to talk and see what was being said?
Well, she got accepted into the page. She was in the group. She got accepted into the group. So no one really knew anything until some of the people were like, started putting it together like, oh, wait, why is she in this group? What, she don't have kids. What is going on?
That's weird.
But to me, in my opinion, it looks like she's hunting on a hunting ground.
That's very, yeah.
For her husband. And you always hear, and I don't know that the statistics are true, but you always hear that P3DOs have a type of help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it looks like that's what she was doing.
Why else would
friends. Yeah, when you don't
join the group?
In the group after they were married.
Okay.
So before June 24th of this year is when he got sentenced. But she joined the group before that. So after his charges were already pending charges, she joined the group. Sick, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like, how, why? What is your, and then, so that's what they were saying on TikTok. A lot of people were like, you don't have kids. You don't plan on having kids. You're in this mommy bear. And she goes, and that's exactly what the mamas did. They started being mama bears and was like, what is she doing? Her husband has charges. Why is she in here? And then she had to address it. And I guess she got kicked out of it, but she had to address it. And that's why she sent the moderators a message being like, you're innocent until proven guilty, but bitch, you don't have any kids. Why are you in this page?
That makes it even weirder that she was on that page.
Exactly. So my thing is like, can we look into her? Can we see what she's got going on? What is her back history? Because why is she doing what she's doing whenever all these charges are going on? And she also blocked me this morning. When I logged in, I was like, oh, did her account get banned? Like, yay. But then I logged into our account together and I was like, oh, she just blocked me. But I'm sure she blocked me because, on her Instagram, there have been people in the comment section just really like kind of supportive to her. And one person that I noticed in particularly was Rachel Weaver. Now she's pretty big on TikTok. She's pretty big. They have her and her ex-boyfriend, I guess is how you would say it, but her kid's father. They were both pretty big, and they have a son. And she's in the comment section of Brittany's Instagram post, and she's like, "Mean girls aren't fun. Kick rocks." Like telling all these commenters who have bad things to say about Brittany and her husband, telling them go kick rocks because mean girls aren't fun.
Now, just to clarify, Rachel Weaver is the ex of Kristen Savage's husband. So
yes,
that's just to clarify that. And so she's supporting Brittany in this?
Yes. In the comment section, she's just telling everyone because there was a comment that said, so come get your girl. She's standing up for a P3DO. And she's like, this is not cool. And so Rachel's under that comment tagging her saying, go kick rocks. Being a mean girl isn't fun. Whenever she's just saying, hey, her husband's a bad guy and we shouldn't be supporting them. And so I was just kind of like, Rachel, what are you doing? You have a son and you should be more outraged. I mean, the guy pled guilty, for crying out loud. It's not like he is just still under pending charges. He's in prison for what he did. And so one thing that I really have started to see with Rachel is I don't follow her. Like, I'm not a follower of hers, but I see her for a couple years now because I've, Kristen and Jacob and Rachel, it's just all drama, right? With all of them. And so one thing I notice about her, which is I don't speak on because, it's your relationship, do what you want. But she has new partners often, very often. And she's already been banned multiple times for showing her son in only his diaper, or just like a towel with nothing on underneath it. So she's already been banned a few times for this. But now, like the past year, there's been like 5 or 6 men that's been in bed with her son. No clothes on. And I'm thinking she needs to protect that child a little bit more. You don't know these people, but we all parent different, right? I'm the type of mom who you're not meeting my kids until I know we're going to get married, right?
Yeah.
We're not doing that. But it just different types of parenting, but also it's very unsafe parenting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just really wish that, for one, you don't need to be posting your child in his underwear or his diaper, with nothing on. That's just crazy. But to have partners,
don't post your child.
for real. Stop. But she is, I do think that Kristen and Jacob exploit the hell out of their kids. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But for Rachel to go to a level where she's constantly posting her child with no clothes on, she's already got banned a few times, to now supporting a pedophile openly on the internet, to me, just like, why are we supporting her anymore? She got big on like her OF and stuff like that. But this, like, and she posts her child on her OF account. Like, she's posted things with him on there.
I did not know that either.
Oh yeah. Now her ex Jacob, he posted the birth announcement of their son on his OF page. But she's always like posting him and like them together on her adult page, which is like sickening in its own, So I just really think that we should look into Rachel a little bit more and not be so okay with her pretty girl image and, fun mommy thing. Like, she's a young mom, but she's a dangerous mom, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all I had on her. I just think we need to look a little closer.
And while we're talking about Rachel, let's talk about Kristen Savage too. Do you want to know?
Yeah, her, so she Let's see, where do we want to start? She got another Snapchat
Yes.
this past, I think like a week or two, maybe 2 weeks ago. So if for those who don't remember, Kristen Whitman, now Savage, had a Snapchat last. I mean, she's had it for a while, but last year it got banned for extreme hate speech and being transphobic, and that's super against Snapchat guidelines. So she got banned instantly after that. And a lot of her fans are like, the trolls got her banned, and in my opinion, trolls don't get you banned unless you violate guidelines. Trolls can only report what you're doing.
Right.
It's up to the platforms to be like, okay, yeah, that's against us or not. So people had been asking, for months now, are you going to make a new one? We miss your Snapchats. And she was like, I'll do it when I have a rep. Like when I get a Snapchat rep, I'll make another one. Well, after she got married, she still waited a few months and made a new one, I think maybe close to 2 weeks ago now. And she posted like maybe 6 Snapchats in like a week, not even a week, it was a few days later. It ended up getting banned again. And it's
So
probably because you can't make another one. They know, like, Snapchat's not dumb.
that's what I was going to say. Those bans are supposed to be permanent.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've
I
already
think she thought getting a new phone and, well, I mean, she admitted she hasn't changed her name yet, so that wouldn't be, how she could monetize off of it. But I mean, I think I agree with her ban. I think she should be banned from Snap because it was atrocious. The stuff she was posting, I mean, even I was just like, what are you doing? But even, since we're on this topic, I've seen videos of Kristen Whitman talking to minors. Kristen has had minors spell the P word, like kids who sound about 10, has them spelling provocative adult parts online. I've watched her take a special needs adult and have him make sexual noises on live for her. Like, she's not no princess either. She's not any better.
No, not at all. So yeah, I think the Snapchat ban was probably quite warranted.
Oh yeah. Okay, what else do you got?
Well, you mentioned princess. This is a completely different kind of princess. I asked you if you'd heard about this, and you said no. So I'm getting ready to tell you. Yeah. So Courtney Joelle and the princess treatment has been trending on TikTok this week. So Courtney Joelle is this creator, and she comes out with these videos, and she talks about how her husband treats her like a princess. Mm-hmm. And basically she says her husband ties her shoes for her. When they go out to eat, her husband orders her food. Even if it's something she doesn't like, she still eats it. Her husband, she's not allowed to talk to like the wait staff or the hostess or anything like that. Her husband does it for her. Like, she won't even talk to the hostess. She doesn't any of that. So like, she's completely treated like a princess by her husband. A lot of people are saying, like, she is cosplaying being rich is what she's doing. That she tries to make people think she's this rich, waspy white woman, and she's not. She's actually like a middle-class person living in an apartment, and she's been trying to go viral for a while, and she's just kind of found her niche. But it's also very like tradwifey, alt-right pipeline type content. But she's gotten very viral this week because people have started picking up on her content, and a lot of people started stitching her content, making videos, like satire videos about her content, things like that. Well, she got really upset, and she deleted all of her accounts and went offline. Well, she's came back, but she has been back. But so now there's all kinds of videos. Like, this one woman was like, we went out to eat, and my husband ordered me a salad because he said I was overweight, and my salad had nuts on it. And so actually, it wasn't just some woman. It was Ashley from DIY Trends.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley.
So, like, making fun of the situation.
Who was that?
She's hilarious. I love her content.
So Ashley made the video, like her husband picked out her salad and it had nuts on it. So like a good little princess, she didn't say anything. She ate the salad and she didn't pass out. She managed to get out to the car and he was able to drop her off at the ER on the way and things like that. And then there's been like people like pretending to be the servers being like,
Mm-hmm.
hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
And you know,
So, like, making fun of the situation.
yeah, but it's dangerous content in the way of you've got young women who see this woman being like,
Right.
I'm treated like a princess. This is how a woman should be treated. And
Mhm.
it takes you down this very dark, like, and somebody said, look, it's not, what you're explaining is not princess treatment. What you're explaining is more like a
Controlling,
kink.
weird.
It's like sub dom like
Mhm.
type of relationship, and you're just calling it a pretty name, like a princess name.
Mhm.
And it's not what it is, you know, but so it's just been an interesting little rabbit hole this week to go down that whole princess
Yeah.
treatment.
I mean, how strange. You know, I will say that I've asked, like, my husband, or whenever we go to like a nice restaurant, I'm like, I don't even know what to order, you know, just
Yeah.
order me something that you think I'll like. But it's not like I'll order for her, she don't speak. That's just weird. And I think you're right. I could see it being what people are saying, like it's a kink. It's not so much of a content. You're not a princess. It's weird, and you're got a weird fetish.
Yeah, and like I have trouble with my hands. Like I have an autoimmune disorder, and my hands are what bother me the most. And like I have a pair of like shoes, like a pair of dress shoes that I love.
Mhm.
They're so comfortable, but they've got these really little hard to get snaps done. So whenever I wear them, I'll go to my husband. I'll
Want
be
me to
like,
help you?
like you know,
Yeah.
I'll tell my husband, I'll be like, sorry, my dogs. So whenever I wear them, I'll be like, hey, can you help me put these on? You know, and he'll help me put them on, but it's not like he's putting my shoes on me or picking out my clothes or
Right. You
anything like
actually
that.
need help. It's not like
Yeah.
you can't do it yourself. That's
Yes.
super strange. I'll have to go and look at some of her videos to get like kind of what she's, and actually, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm not going to give her views. That's weird. I'll just take your word for it.
Go watch the satire videos and the stitches.
I'll go watch Ashley's.
Yes, go watch Ashley's. Yes, Ashley's video is hilarious. So were some of the satire videos on it. But
I'll have to go
yeah,
watch them.
it's just that's been trending all week this week. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't, and I'll have to go look at hers though, because I normally see Ashley's because I follow her, so I normally see her stuff pop up. But maybe it's just because it hasn't been. I don't know. Maybe because has she posted it recently?
I saw it last night. I know she's been on
Oh, okay,
vacation
maybe I just
too.
haven't seen it then.
And yeah, she's been on vacation. So yeah.
I'll definitely have to go look at it.
Do you have another one?
Yes. Well, I kind of just wanted to mention a little bit on Eugenia Cooney. So, not to get into her health issues or anything, I just, I really hope that she can get better, and see what's happening and hopefully get better. What I did want to mention is she's been restricted again on TikTok. So this is
Really?
like, I want to say like 8 times since I've watched her, the past 2 years maybe. Now, I didn't actually know a lot about Eugenia. My best friend actually put me on to her, because we were talking one day about influencers who we worry about, like if it's kid or, moms with all their kids that they exploit, or if it's someone like Eugenia. And she was telling me that, she used to watch her back on the YouTube days, like along when she was like a teenager, she used to see her. And so with Eugenia being restricted again, this is, I want to say, her second time this year for sure that she's been, because her live got banned December of last year and maybe again in January of this year. And now she's restricted again. It looks like I can't even see, how she usually has like her TikTok shop and stuff in her TikTok bio. I can't see any of that anymore. And whenever I tried on our de-influencing TikTok to go look, I couldn't even find her name on there yesterday. So I don't know if it's restricted to like people who only follow her now, or if, because could you see her at all anymore? Do you? know if,
I'm not sure. I haven't
and
checked to see.
I'm not sure how TikTok works when they do restrict you. Like how many times? So my question is with Eugenia, how many times is she going to be restricted until she just gets banned completely on TikTok?
That's a
Like
good question.
I wish I would knew how many, what is that limit with TikTok? Because it's been a lot the past year with her already.
I'm
And
looking.
I will say that I've reported a few of her videos and they came back instantly with violations.
Yeah. So I was able to look her up and pull her up. So, and I don't follow her, so I am able to pull her up. But you are right. The TikTok shop and all of that is gone. So that much is gone.
Okay.
I thought you were going to talk about some other stuff. I don't know if you have heard this or not. So I guess her pet just recently died too. And then I guess her and Jeffree Star are finally calling it
Done.
quits.
So that
So
was going to be my next thing. Now I knew that her dog had passed away, and I can't remember the name of it, but I thought she was distancing herself just to maybe get better. But she came up with, it's been a hard week, our dog passed away. But then I think it was yesterday or the night before yesterday, I saw where her and Jeffree Star are like done. He's already, and like he cut his ties with her. And which is strange because she is all about everything she has is Jeffree Star. I mean, everything.
and I know we're not going to get into this too, but he has also said that she needs to go get help and she needs to take care of herself. So,
Yeah, he did kind of out her because we see what we see with our own eyes. A lot of people speculate that she needs help, but he definitely had just came out and blasted and said, yes, she does.
yes.
And that may have been the falling out.
And I mean, if they are truly as close, maybe maybe I'm not a fan of Jeffree Star. I will put that straight up
No,
out.
he's terrible. I mean, I would
He's
agree. He's not a
he's
good person at all.
yeah. But if he is a friend to her, which he seems to be, maybe he feels like that's his only way for her to get help. I don't know. So,
Yeah, I mean, we really don't know what he's thinking. I mean, it could be that because a lot of times you have to cut people off because you're just enabling them,
yeah.
So who knows?
That I know that I know you and I have talked about her. And I know we're skating around the whole issue of, does she have an eating disorder? Does she not have an eating disorder? And like you said, we see what we see. Aside from that, there's a lot of other issues with her too. She has a lot of issues, and we have debated on, do we address those other issues? Do we do a whole deep dive
Deep
into
dive.
her? Yeah, and how do we handle that? So that's one of those things where it's like, we know that there's influencers out here that we want to talk about. We know that there's influencers that they have very problematic past. There's already been one influencer that we both wanted to talk about, and you started researching, and I'm not going to say who it was, and you were just like, this is too dark. We're not going to talk about this. And I completely agree. And I think that that's one of those things where we're like, yes, there's things that we need to talk about, but there's also things that you and I want to handle with care. We're not just here, like we say in our intro, we're not just here to cancel people. We're not just here to say this person is horrible. We honestly, and I made an editing error, so there's a little bit of a delay on getting everything posted yesterday, but like in our episode yesterday, I know you got emotional over it. Like,
yeah, it's tough. I mean, these topics are really hard sometimes. And when you're like, you're going over it and you're looking at it and you're searching it and you're like, okay, this is good, this is good. But when you go and talk about it, it's like, it just hits you and it's just hard to like, they're tough topics. And I just want to be respectful. And I know you do too. We just want to be respectful and keep it to where we're not, I'm not here to cancel. We just needed to speak on these hard topics. And sometimes they're a little too hard, but I feel like we needed to speak on him.
yes.
People needed to know more about that.
And I think people are always in my comments like, these people are just YouTube figures or YouTube figures. These people are just TikTok figures. These are just people off social media. Whether it's the people off social media or not, the topics that we talk about and the issues we discuss are issues that go beyond social media and
Right.
affect other people as well. So it's one of those things. That's why I think like talking about it is good. Yes, at the end of the day, sometimes we're petty and we're gossipy, but also we're talking about things that need to be talked about. So,
Right.
but all of that to say, we are just trying to decide whether we want to do a deeper dive into Eugenia or whether we
Right.
want to not, and how we want to handle that. So if you have comments, thoughts, ideas, we'd love to hear your thoughts and your input,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, Ashley and I can sit here and talk. We enjoy this. We're loving this.
Yes.
But we want to know what you think too. Like, let us know what your thoughts are on this subject too, as far as what do you want to hear.
Right. And
So,
it's hard for me because will say that I've not ever been through something like an eating disorder. So I wouldn't even know kind of the first steps of how you would address it. How do you speak on it, for if it was me myself.
I will say, it feels like 100 years ago. It was more like 30 years ago. When I was in high school, uh, I ran cross country. I
Mhm.
weighed 95 pounds. I weighed 95 pounds. And my mom would always be like, "You're not eating. You're not eating. You're
Mhm.
not eating." And I wasn't. I was
Right.
anorexic. I had an eating disorder. And my mom realized it even when I would deny it. And I
Mhm.
never got this bad. And I was able to get treatment. Part of the reason now, like, I've gained a lot of weight. Now, a lot of it is health related, medicine related, stuff like that. But even now, as an adult, when I try to go on a diet or I try to eat healthy, I have to be very, very careful, even still now, years later, with food restriction,
Yeah.
because it's so easy for that mindset to click in and like for you to start spiraling in your head. So
Right.
it's,
And I do feel like, ED does start young. It starts so young. And I just would never want my kids to come to me and say, "Oh, mom, I need to stop eating. Like, I need to lose some weight," and it would just devastate me. And now, like, look at you. You look happy. You look healthy. You're just living your best life. I'm so glad that you got past it. I just think that Eugenia has so many young followers because let's be honest, she looks like a child. She dresses like a toddler sometimes. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's very kiddish. She has a kid-friendly vibe, and that is one person that I would never let my child or kids watch because I just don't think it's body image is, when it's like this can really affect a child too and be like, "Oh, I need to look like that." And look at themselves and be like, "Oh, I can't see myself. Like I can't see. I'm not that skinny."
and you were talking about it looks very kiddish. She looks she looks to me a lot like that. She's got like that Wednesday Addams type vibe,
Mhm.
and that's
Mhm.
that very, and it seems like such a fun vibe. And then you've got her at Walt Disney World with her Mickey Mouse ears on and
Mhm.
that type of vibe. And
Right.
you're right, it is a
But she'll
very, go ahead.
go ahead, sorry. But she'll put on costumes and be like skeleton costumes.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she's making fun because people have, said, "Well, you can see your bones." And so whenever for like months, she just had this skeleton costume on. And it was almost like she was getting like going into that because people were talking about it. It's something that gets views, and it just seems like that's where it's kind of stayed right now. And I worry for her. I really do. I just really wish I could see her get off social media, her mom stop enabling some things, and really work on herself. I would like to see
Yes.
her come back and be happy and healthy and just do better.
Yeah. I just, I don't know if, I don't know if we're going to see that for her,
Right.
unfortunately. And I think that's part of the reason too. That's why, one of the reasons why we don't want to discuss this, because I think you and I both know we're at the point now where they're
It's almost like a
probably,
no return, and I
yeah.
hope that's not the case, but it's starting to look that way.
And I think that's part of the reason why we've are kind of not sure how to handle that one.
Mhm.
Let's go ahead and talk about another influencer that's kind of controversial, and then we'll kind of move on past
Okay.
this type of stuff. We'll go ahead and talk about the older millennial. I know a lot of people don't like him. He has his fans. A lot of other people don't like him. He was arrested last weekend. A lot of I opened up my For You page, and everybody was like,
There he
got
is.
arrested, he got arrested, he got arrested. So if you don't know, the older millennial did get arrested. He had outstanding warrants that were related to a DUI charge, and from what
Mhm.
I understand, it was his fourth DUI. I don't care your political beliefs. We don't talk political beliefs on here. I don't talk my political beliefs, period.
Right.
But 4 DUIs is 4 too many.
I mean, I honestly, and I have always, maybe it's just a thing in my head. I've never had any type of driving under the influence or anything like that. So I'm not really sure, but I have always heard that, isn't it like the third time, like you're done, you're off the streets, you're not doing this anymore. And I think after the first time, don't you normally get your license suspended for
I,
a while?
I think so. Let me
But
look.
4 is way too damn many. He needs to stop drinking, maybe go to some AA meetings and put up the keys.
Yeah.
You were going to kill someone, sir.
Oh, yeah. Um, and he's one of those that's like got all these ideas about what to do for criminals and stuff. And here he is out here.
Being one.
And so he resisted arrest. They ended up having to use a taser on him, the whole 9 yards. Now, what I think is interesting about this case is this is one of the first cases we've got that we've had come up since the new creator guidelines have been rolled out. And with the new TikTok
Oh,
creator guidelines, it allows TikTok to demonetize you based off of actions that occur outside of TikTok. So
okay.
you won't necessarily lose your TikTok account, but they can take away your creator reward fund. So it
Mm.
will be interesting to see, will he lose his creator reward fund over this one? So I think a lot of people are watching to see that. And
I mean, I
then,
would vote yes. He needs to
yeah.
lose it.
And there
That's
was,
just more money in his pocket to buy booze to go drive some more.
yeah, I think that's, so yes, I think I think a lot of people are waiting to see, are they going to demonetize him?
Mm.
So talking about people that got arrested, I sent you a video last night and I was like, do you know anything about this creator? Because I don't. And you were like, I don't know anything about this creator either. But we were both like, this is
I was
hilarious.
dying laughing. Yes.
So the creator was Tara Greathouse Thomas, and she got
Okay.
arrested at Buc-ee's for stealing 2 burritos and a bottle of wine. And
Stop.
I don't know who
First off,
she
the
is.
2 burritos, like 2 burritos is what you're going to take?
2 burritos and a bottle of wine from Buc-ee's. So she's, from the videos that we saw on there last night, she seems like she's problematic. We don't know. We may be
Yeah.
laughing over something that we don't know anything about. We're going to have to look into her, but we haven't had a chance to look into her. But so Tara Greathouse Thomas, it appears, stole 2 burritos and a bottle of wine from Buc-ee's. And we just thought that was hilarious because we're like,
When
2 burritos.
when you sent that to me, I was sitting outside with my husband and we're just on the porch, just relaxing. It's a nice evening. And you sent it to me and you were like, have you seen this? And I was like, no. And you're like, well, apparently she stole 2 burritos and a bottle of wine from Buc-ee's. I literally about choked. I was laughing so hard. And my husband just looked at me like, what are you doing? I was like, give me a second. And so I read it to him. And before I can even get it out, he starts laughing. I'm like, this is so crazy, right? He was just like, yes, the stuff y'all find.
So So that's another one we don't know anything about, but we're just like, okay, that showed up on my FYP page. So yeah, I'm telling you, if you have the strange FYP page, you're in the right place because we
It was
built
funny.
this brick by brick. All right. You got
Okay.
another one?
I do. I have one. I think just have one more.
Okay.
So her TikTok name is Sami Head.
Ah.
Her husband on TikTok is Todd. Oh, goodness. These two creators really just irk me to no end because it's just so unnecessary content that they're making. And it's just I feel like it's putting their child at risk and I just honestly I hate it. But she popped up on well actually I'm sorry, he popped up on my For You page first. And it was a video of him and he's at home and he's standing in front of their kitchen and he's got his arms out like this, just like, hey. And his daughter, who looks about one, maybe a little over one, she's like not learning to walk, but she's still learning to walk, right? And she is like so excited. She's out like this and she's like kind of running to him. And as soon as she dives into his arms, let me back up. The video he captioned it was how I greet my daughter when I come home from work. So they're all running and having hugs and just so excited. And she goes and dives into his arms and he just whoop, moves out of the way and she smashes to the floor. This little girl. And I see that and I'm like, what the hell? So I saw that video and I commented and was like, this is abuse. I literally commented that. I was like, this is crazy. Why is this the type of content we're making? You just hurt your child. And I mean, I'm not kidding. She slammed to the floor. She hit hard. She thought with all her ounce, her dad was going to catch her. And he just thought it was just funny. So that video is since deleted, but I do have it on my page. I think I saved it and reposted it and kind of talked about it. But so I've seen that. And in that video, he tagged his wife in it. And he only had like 4 videos up at this point because he's like newly just got his own account. So I looked at his.
She's been doing satire videos for quite a while, and he's always appeared in her satire videos.
Yeah, so he just made his own account, and I guess that's what popped up. So when I saw that he tagged his wife, I was like, oh, let me see what her page is. And it just, I mean, I get like parody and satire videos, I really do. But at the point where you're hurting your kids or your kids just sitting there screaming, bawling, like, and you're just laughing at them and making a video is super, super unnecessary. And I don't want to see that for content. I don't need to see your kids screaming. So the next video, I went to her page and this is her last video she posted as of yesterday. And it's her newborn. And she had this newborn like 4 to 6 weeks ago. It's not very old. And it's sunny outside. She's out in their garage and she's got a basketball and she's in front of the basketball hoop. And he is in front of the basketball hoop, like, you know, where the free throw line would be. That's about how far he is away from the basket. So she's just standing there beside him and she's just doing some stupid crap like, let me show you how to, you know, play ball and like just trying to do the satire videos. And she's shooting the ball beside him and he's just laying on the ground just screaming. And he's on concrete. He's on like a little soft blanket on the concrete and just screaming. And she's like, he's screaming in the video, just crying. And she's like, well, now let's do your first bounce pass. And she like throws the ball by his head. And obviously she's probably got someone else like trying to make sure it don't hit him, you know. But it's just like, what are you doing? Your kid's just screaming and you're making these stupid ass videos about how your kid needs to catch a bounce pass at 6 weeks old. It bugs me. I don't like it. I don't like to see them using their kids where their kids are just crying in the videos and just screaming and they're just, you know, it's content to them. They're making fun of it. But that video that her husband posted just set me off and I was like, yeah, these content creators are something else. If it's going to the point where you're hurting your kids for views, we have an issue.
Yeah. I think so. When she first started out, there was a lot of videos of just her and her husband was always kind of like being like mean to her, but that was kind of like the point of her videos. Mm-hmm. And she would use her kids in the videos, but they were never like this. It seems like her videos seem to be taking a different turn now. And I think that's the problem is there's nothing wrong with monetizing content. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with monetizing content. But sometimes creators get so used to monetizing their content, they feel like they have to constantly push the envelope. to get more and more views and more likes and more money, because the more content or the more views, the more comments, the more everything, the more money. Yeah. And so it feels like she's going down a path that is not a good one. I don't, there are several content creators that use their kids in rage bait videos, and your kids don't understand satire. Your kids don't understand that, they don't understand it. And so they don't get that this isn't like how you really feel or anything like that. And it's just so dangerous using them in those type of videos. It's dangerous using them in any videos, but especially those type of videos.
Right. I do think my biggest pet peeve on the internet, and I think the worst type of family content creators, are the ones who put their kids in danger. And then the ones who have their 8-year-olds or 10-year-olds flipping off the camera, shaking their rears for the camera, and singing sexual songs to the camera. It's like, and they have openly admitted, oh, I know that there's people on this app who will take my kids' videos and change it and do things to it and whatever, that's on them. It's not like they're doing it to my kid. And that bugs me too, because it's like they're defeating the whole purpose. You're missing the point of protecting your kids. So that's my biggest issue with that.
Oh, here's one that I haven't looked into. I just saw like the caption this morning, and I haven't like looked into it, so I don't know. But if you watch my Stories with Steph page, like a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about Michelle Bell XO, Michelle the bartender. She's the one Raleigh, the bartender. She uses her son a lot in videos. And she is one that has said that people asked her a few months ago, they were like, hey, what happens if somebody uses your son's picture or whatever to make AI videos? And she's like, well, it's not really him. It doesn't matter. And then
she made a long video saying that, like a good 3 to 5 minute video saying it's not him. You guys are just doing too much. It's not really him. I remember that.
It was at Christmas time. So then about 2 weeks ago, it might have been 2 weeks ago,
longer, I think.
Yeah, somebody made a video of her using AI content. And I was like,
all hell broke loose.
Yes. And I was like, so it's okay for them to use AI to make videos of him because it's not really him, but not her.
So what happened to that same energy? Oh, Michelle, it's not really you. Yeah. Have that same energy for your son. That's great. She drives me crazy.
So the caption I saw this morning, it sounds like she's taking her son off the internet and she's not going to be posting him anymore. So maybe it's sunk in. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look into that.
Round of applause for her, because that's probably the best thing she could have done.
So we will probably be talking about that more next week, but that's what it appears like. She will be, it sounds like she's going to take him down. So hopefully that got through. So that's what, like, we said Bonnie Lee and then Avery Woods and now her. That'll be like 3 major creators that have said.
And good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So, yeah, I'm trying to see what else I had. Yeah,
I think that was all of mine. Let me. You were going to tell me about Cole. Did you have anything on him?
Oh, yes. Cole LaBrant. So, talking about people who use their kids and their content. Cole LaBrant. And this fits in very nicely with the AI stuff. So, the LaBrants have been feeling a lot of heat for using their kids in content. There's a lot of backlash for creators right now, which is well-deserved backlash for using their kids in content. So somebody discovered this band called FiveX. Have you heard of this band called FiveX? Well, it doesn't list like any of the band members or anything, but in the line it says, managed by Cole LaBrant. Well, upon further investigation, it's 5 boy band members in their teens who are all AI generated. Cole LaBrant has created a boy band called FiveX. He has AI generated 5 teenage boys and their music, and he is managing them.
Okay, that's weird, first off.
There's
And
so many things
also,
weird about it.
yeah. And I mean, it's also weird knowing a little bit about what I know with him and how he met his now wife and when they had, with her daughter, like already knowing a few things about that to this now. Why are teenage boys really? You made AI teenage boys to manage them in a group?
Yes.
That makes zero sense. Why?
Yes. See, for those of you who don't know, when we were discussing what we were going to talk about, I told
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, I said, there's something with LaBrant that I want to talk to you about,
Yeah, I didn't know
but
that.
I'm not going to tell you until we get on recording because I want your
Mm.
honest reaction. So this is her honest reaction. So I was like, I'm not going to tell you till we get on.
I mean, it's insane. It really is kind of sick. But why are you? Why? Okay, my
Why
question would be,
teenage
Cole,
boys?
why kids? Exactly. Do your own face and make your own. Make 5 people of you.
Why
Why
not
kids?
20-year-olds? Why do they have to be minors?
What is wrong with these people? He has kids too. A lot of them. He knows how this works. I mean, they exploit the shit out of their kids too. But oh my gosh, to go as far after everything they make good money. They exploit the crap out of their kids. They make enough money. He did not need to go and make a boy band and a child band of AI people who, oh my god, that's sick. What else is he doing with AI and these kids?
That's a good question. But yeah, it was just
Mm.
people were like, what got it noticed is the fact that he took the time to put the manager in the thing. If he hadn't put his name as manager, because it's like, what band puts their manager in their bio? And
Yeah,
that's what got people talking and thinking about it is, why is he listed as a manager? If it was his ego that got him caught on this, if it would not have been for his ego
that
and
is so.
having
I'm literally looking at it on the internet. That is so weird.
the
He is
5X.
really, yes, he
And
is
okay,
starting
so
to
looking
creep
at
me
the
out more.
pictures, do they not resemble him? You said, why didn't he create 5 of himself? Do they not all resemble him? They're different ethnicities, but do the pictures not resemble him? At
This is so strange.
let me see. Hold on. Let me show you which picture I'm looking at. I'm looking at this picture right here, this 5X picture.
This is so creepy that he's doing this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing all of this crap online. Oh, I don't even like looking at his face. Like he's starting to creep me out more and more. And I just, this is what makes me think like it could easily turn into something else. Like we talked about the Stapletons. I just feel
Yeah.
like what you're doing looks sketchy. It sounds sketchy and you're openly putting it to the public. You're a weirdo.
So this is and just for some clarity, this is the same man who was talking about David Beckham's daughter, like toddler daughter, and saying he would wait for her until she turned 18. He was a full-grown
What?
adult. He was a full-grown adult, and saying he would wait for their toddler child to turn 18 because that's going to be a good-looking daughter. Said this
He's
about
having this band, or he said that, or he's having the band say it.
No, he
I mean,
said
it is
that
him.
years ago. You don't you didn't hear this?
No, I knew what he did with his wife's daughter, or like not what he did, but like the weirdness there with how close
Yes,
he got to her daughter at first.
let me
But
find the
no, I did not know
exact
that.
quote. He tweeted it. Um
What?
it says so this was tweeted on April the 15th of 2020. And it says, I may just wait 20 years for David Beckham's 3-year-old because God knows she's going to be gorgeous.
That's sick. And if my husband ever did that, honestly, I would get in trouble. That's not, we would not be together. He would not be around my kids or me. That's sick.
Yeah.
How old is he? That was 5 years ago? How old is he now?
actually, sorry. The way it was done, so it was April 20th, 2015. So 10 years ago he did this. So on April 20th, 2015, he tweeted, "I may just wait 20 years for David Beckham's 3-year-old daughter, because God knows she's going to be gorgeous." So this was before he went after Savannah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What a creep.
And he even specified that she was 3 years old. That's the creepy part, too. He specified she was 3.
That's pedo behavior if I've ever seen it. That's sick. That's so sick.
We're going to have to do a long episode on him because a lot of their followers are teenagers. And he manages to talk about sex and all kinds of inappropriate content that shouldn't be talked about with their audience. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do go into a deep dive on them because they've also started this weird faith-based, I don't even know if it's not a podcast. It's
an app. It's a parenting app or something. And I heard they even stole that from somebody.
I did too. So we'll definitely have to go down and do a deep dive on them when we can take maybe even a fully week to research them.
Yes.
Because he's going to be a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, that was what I wanted to tell you about him because I was but yeah, I wanted to get your reaction in real time versus.
Oh, it makes me mad. What a sicko. How is people encouraging and supporting that? Does people know that it's in kids' bands? Or do people, is it out there yet or is it still new?
So the band has it has stuff on Spotify and things like that and other apps, but most people don't realize it's connected to him. If he would have not put his name, it would have not gotten connected back to him. It's the fact that he put his name. It says, we're the FiveX band, country band, managed by LaBrant.
I'll tell you right now, he would not be around my kids. Ever.
Yeah.
Friends never. He's one to look out for, in my opinion. That's so strange what he's doing.
And he's got them they're on Apple Music, they're on SoundCloud, they have an Instagram, the whole 9 yards.
Oh my word.
So, but yeah, he's treating them just like a regular band, but they're AI. But like I said, what makes it so weird is why did he have to make them teenage boys? So I know that this episode's gone a little longer. We knew it was going to go a little longer because it's been a lot. So so we have a couple episodes coming up next week. I'm going to talk about a Big Brother contestant whose racism got her hated by America, and now she is huge on TikTok right here. And so we're going to talk about her. We're going to do next week's social media roundup. And then in 2 weeks, I'm going to be gone on vacation, but we're not going to leave you without an episode. We're going to do a breakdown episode. People are always sending me influencers and creators, and they're like, what do you think about this person? What do you think about that person? Well, we're giving you the opportunity. Send us the creators you want to know what we think about. Send us those creators that you're like, have you seen them yet? Because we're going to talk about them on that episode. So we're going to be recording that episode not next week, but the following week. So send them to us. Let's see those people you want to know what our thoughts are on them, because we're going to pick out 3 or 4 of them and talk about them. So instead of having a social media roundup that week, because I'm not going to be here to talk about what's trending, we're going to do that. So let us know who you want to know our thoughts on. But you all have a great week. Have a happy 4th of July. Ashley.
Happy 4th. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye, you all. Thanks for watching De-Influencing.